Events, weddings, corporate events, parties, you name it, River Ranch Stockyards can do it all. Check them out, riverranchstockyards.com. A proud partner of Trey's Chowdown and Trey's Chowdown Live. Hope to see you at the table soon. Adios. Season 5 of Chef's Deliciousness and Cocktails starts right now. Woo! The Food Network, Chopped. You were Food Network. You were Chopped. You were in New Orleans with Emerald.
Yes, sir.
And then you went back to, but you're from Idabel.
I'm from Idabel.
So you went back to Idabel.
Moved back to Idabel. Yep.
And it's Phat Tabb's barbecue.
Yes, sir.
But you do more than barbecue.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get into that in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Do you do tacos?
We do tacos every now and then.
You do, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know you do tacos. You do burgers.
Mm-hmm.
You do sausage. You do turkey. You do brisket. You do a full barbecue lineup. But
yeah, we do full barbecue lineup, but specials we try to, for our area, we try to do something off the wall that they're not used to. So we did burrito ramen, which sold out the box. We've done barbecue ramen. We've done pho. We try to bring a lot of culture to barbecue-wise in our area that a lot of people aren't used to seeing.
Right.
And they seem to really enjoy it.
How did the burrito ramen do?
The burrito ramen, it sold out. I think we had 40 orders, and we sold out 10 minutes after we after we opened. I mean, we start doing pre-orders for specials mainly, and if you want to do meat orders like at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And we just started doing burgers the past 2 Wednesdays, and we've sold out of burgers before we even opened, which is people calling pre-ordering burgers. It's like, man.
I had your burgers first day I was there. I think you were there the first time I was there.
Yep.
But I love the burgers. Burgers are good.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. See, we took them off. We took them off for a while because we shut down. We shut down a day.
Right.
Because it's down to 3 people. So for us, and I was like, let me figure this pit out. And, timing, because we changed our cooks up.
Yeah, but you had a new pit, too.
We got a new pit, and so I wanted to change up some of the timing of our cooks, mainly so I can get a little bit of sleep, the week we're open, because, running the pits, I'm there at night, and I'm back there in the morning, with a little sleep. He mainly helps me with a lot of prep and all that other stuff when I go home to take a power nap after service. And my sister, she's just the gopher of everything. And she's the one that actually, when I'm tired, she's the one that keeps me going. And if it wasn't for her,
But you know what I realized traveling, I do what I do. Mm-hmm. The Texas barbecue scene, which now it's the Oklahoma, it can be New Mexico, it's Louisiana. I mean, it's just it started in Texas, the Texas bar, but it's growing like it's blowing up like this and going to other states. Just feeding out like grass tendons. But it's all family. Most of the successful ones are family operated. Yep. And so I mean, it's just because it's a dedication it takes.
It is. It's a lot of hours. People's like, well, you're out of brisket, and I'm like, I'll have it ready here, Quinn. Like, how soon? I'm like, tomorrow. I mean, it's not. Our briskets go almost 14 hours. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah. When did you start? Did you start from day one?
Yeah, I've been cooking professionally since I was about 11 years old.
Okay.
With him, I worked with him and did internships at NOLA with him in New Orleans, and then after that, we worked at the Moon Tower, Singleton Southern Kitchen, and then. When those shut down, I moved to New Orleans, worked at a French bistro called Carrollton Market.
So you were in NOLA too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he was little, like
we're
I said,
both chefs.
He was 11, 12, and he was always my little buddy growing up. And so he wanted to get into cooking, he thought, and so I was always in New Orleans. I never got to make it back when I moved to New Orleans to work. And so I asked my boss, and my corporate chef, I thought, oh, man. And they're like, no, he can come in. So he'd come, every other summer. If he could, he'd stay in New Orleans with me, and I'd have him in there prepping and working the line with me at Emerald's. And
that's awesome. See, I didn't know this. See, this is the thing. That's why I love my show, because even though I've been to your restaurant 3 times now, you can't talk to people and get to know them and get to know about the history and how they learned sitting in the restaurant because it's always too busy. I mean, there's too much shit going on.
Yeah.
You know, there's too much stuff rattling around going on. So I'm going to show your video in a minute, but let's back up a minute. You were in New Orleans with Emeril.
Yes.
It's Agassi, right?
Emeril Agassi.
I've never been able to say his name right.
Emeril Agassi.
Yeah. So did you move first, or did y'all move together?
I moved first.
Okay.
I was down there for about 8 years.
Yeah.
And then he showed up later on after he graduated high school. And everything.
So you were I go to NALA 4 times a year. I have a Trace Coastal Chat, and I do NALA a lot.
Yep.
I love NALA. Right now they're having a little trouble because of what they're doing with the vaccines and stuff.
Yes.
But and they've been having trouble for over a year and a half now. The last 3 times I went is the only time I've ever been to NALA when it was just walk in, no lines, no people on the streets. I mean, for me, it was really nice, but for the business, it was not good at all.
No.
So y'all were down there. You went down there, and then you went to work with him right away, or you worked some other places first?
I actually never worked with him whenever I was in New Orleans.
Okay.
We worked at 2 separate Emeril Agassi restaurants. So he worked at NOLA in the French Quarter, and I worked at Merrill in the CBD.
Okay. I've not been to that one yet. I have been to that one. Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
For the most part, yeah, I did. I enjoyed the people I worked with and everything, but like just the multitude of people we cooked for, it was like feeding cattle. I mean, we were doing upwards of 3,000 people a day.
Yeah.
Every day, and then it was a lot. My first job I worked at was a super small French bistro, which I feel like that's where I probably learned the majority of what, like my cooking and everything for that butchery, everything like that. Besides what I learned with him. And super small, like 20 seats. We maybe did 80 people a night, but it was just.
But you learned a lot.
Fast paced.
I would think working in NALA, even at 2 different restaurants, the experience you gain from just different things you do, especially the people you meet and the stuff you learn would be really. I mean, it'd be awesome.
Oh, it was. I had a blast.
It was great.
What's it? It's so funny because y'all are cultured chefs, and you're back in Idabel now. Are y'all ever going to do any of the dishes that you did in NALA and Idabel at your place? Is there ever a place for that in your at Phat Tabb's barbecue?
Well, right now I'm full blown barbecue straight ahead, but we do step out of the box on a lot of things, and when we do, like I said, we do a lot of cabin catering now that we book. And, for some cabin caterings, I'll put the chef coat on, but mainly I've handed all that off to him.
Yeah. That's primarily what I take care of is like the fine dining aspect of things.
Yeah. We'll sit down, we'll talk through a menu, this and that, and then I'll let him run that show part of it. That way I can still focus on barbecue. Now, if we can get staff back up, I'd like to start doing more myself. But we've been known to do pop-ups. And it just every now and then, if I get an itch, I'm like, man, I want to put my chef coat on for a night. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do a pop up. We'll do a ticket sell.
When you're not tired.
Yep. When I'm not tired. Yes.
I want to run the video. We're going to run the video now of Phat Tabb's and show Phat Tabb's and kind of what it consists of, so everybody can see it.
Texas style, this style, this style, this style. My style is Oklahoma. I mean, that's what I am. I cook Oklahoma barbecue. Now, the process we do here is low and slow. But a little trick of the trade that I do is something my great-grandfather did when he had a butcher shop a long time ago. And it sounds a little bit different, but back in the day when they would hang meat out back to dry, they would throw pickle juice on it just to keep the flies and stuff away. So all of our briskets, we just spray them. Most people do brown sugar and apple cider. I do pickle juice on my briskets. We use prime grade briskets. Our ribs and pork, we get all natural pork. Turkey breast is all natural. All of our sausages, we make scratch every day. Our burger grinds for our burgers we sell here, it's an Oklahoma onion style burger. We grind all of our own meat. We make our own patties. Pretty much every you see at a fine dining establishment where everything is scratch made, we do it here.
And 1,000 gallon.
No.
For the new smoker, yeah.
Yeah, that was before we were still working off of the 750.
Y'all just got a new smoker. I know. I saw it. Well, I saw it in there. It was I didn't go, but I saw you putting it in there.
Yep.
You said how much is 1,000 gallons?
We got big 1,000 gallons.
Yeah. Wow, that's
one of my mom's high school friends made it for us. It was real nice.
That's awesome. So let me. I want to talk about Chopped because you were on Chopped. What was that like? First of all, how did that come about?
Well, actually, funny story. There were some producers in the area, and they
In New
were
Orleans?
in New Orleans.
Okay.
And because they just did some shows in Mississippi or looking for contestants, and I didn't know that they were even looking for people in New Orleans at the time. Well, they were. We had a food bar where you're right there in the kitchen. And this one night, my boss was gone because at this time I was executive sous chef.
Right.
So the chef was gone, so I was running the show. He was on vacation. Well, there's this one guy that he's at the roast, which is right in front of me.
Right.
So I'm sitting there calling out orders, and he's been getting his face caved in the whole night. And I knew he was about to crack. So if you're about to crack, I'm going to push you harder, especially at the Emerald's restaurant, because, he wants. If you're gonna crack underneath pressure, you don't need to be working there. So I was pushing him. I'm like, man, you got to keep up. You got to keep up. Well, in front of everybody, he just turned around and smarts off to me. And he said, if you think you can do better. So I turned around. I moved the printer into the kitchen. I went around. I said, get off the station. I was calling out orders and working the station at the same time to get caught back up.
Yeah.
And then I moved the printer back out, and he was just standing over there at the prep station just staring at me. And then so I walked back out front. I said, that's how you do it, son. And I walked back outside. He ended up quitting. And it's probably rude of me to do, but we were trying to get food out.
Man, you're in middle service. You got to do what you got to do.
We were getting backed up. And I didn't know this, but at the food bar, there were representatives for Chopped.
Okay.
And then they're like, what just happened? And I said, ma'am. They're like, what just happened? They're like, you were expediting and plating up food and controlling the kitchen and doing everything from the kitchen.
Yeah.
They're like, was that a lot of pressure? I'm like, that's what I'm trained to do. I said, I've always had that knack to work and multitask and just stay focused. Right. I mean, if we go and
a successful chef has got to be able to do that.
Yeah,
you have to.
And so they got to talking. They're like, have you ever heard of Chopped? And at the time, I was like, well, I've seen it. I've heard it about it being on TV, and I'd never really seen a whole show. And they're like, man, you need to apply. We're going to be in the area next month. And I was like, well, Food Network at the time, Emerald was still on Food Network. I said, there's no way that'll happen. Well, my boss came back, and I talked to him, and he's like, let me reach out to the corporate. And so the corporate chef said, well, we'll see how it goes. Well, I sent in my video, and then we filled out the application process and not thinking that we'd make it. And I got an email. They're like, hey, we want to come down for a second interview. Can you meet us here? And I was like, all right. So I sat down. We did a one-on-one with them interview, and they asked about, where it all started from, how you're from a small town of Idabel, Oklahoma, which is, maybe 6,500 people.
Most people don't know where it is anyway.
No, you blink and you go through it. Yeah. And then to make it to where you're at right now. And I was like, I got tired of the food I was cooking, and I knew there was a lot more out there to learn. And I said, I can't stay here to do it. I got to go do it myself. So with the help of my mom, dad, and my family, I loaded up, moved to New Orleans, and the first 2 years I was in New Orleans, I averaged almost 80 to 90 hours a week.
Yeah.
I was working at Emerald's, but I was staging at 2 other restaurants, working for free, just to learn more. So if the time ever came for me to step up, I can say, look, this is what I learned. Because when I first moved down there, everybody at the time, Oklahoma was just meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Good steaks, potatoes. I mean, that was about it. And so I had to prove myself. And you always get these goals set, and that's me. I'm super hardcore goal oriented. So I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to learn this super fast, and I did. And but anyway, long story short, we went through the application process. Right. They called me back for the second interview. I did the interview. And then they called me on the phone and said, hey, I'm the producer from Chow. We want you on the show. And then I was like, oh, really? I was like, well, let me talk to my boss, because we didn't think we were going to make it this far. Yeah. So he called corporate. Yeah,
because I guess when you're working for a corporate restaurant, they can tell you that they want you on there or not on there.
Yeah, and our thing was with Emerald being on, they didn't want there to be like
he's all over the Food Network.
They didn't want it to be like a discrepancy or anything like that. So anyway, they said, go ahead, go for it. So I was like, all right. And then so the day I was leaving, my boss said, don't lose. I was like, I'll try not to.
But you didn't lose. You won, right?
I got lucky. I'll say that. Everybody says, no, you did good. I got lucky, I think.
Hey, let me tell you something. When you do stuff like that, man, there is a little luck involved.
Yeah.
I mean, some things just click and they line up, and it's just the way those things work.
Yep.
So what was the worst thing about Chop, and what was the best thing about Chop for you?
Worst thing, dessert round.
Dessert round
was probably the worst thing because I had a game plan of what I was going to do, and because at the time I saw the videos, everybody's talking about the ice cream machine.
Yeah,
you can't.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Everybody, no one ever makes a dish out of the ice cream machine. I said, watch this. So I practiced on our ice cream machine that we have.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if our model was better or theirs was better or what, and I had it timed out. Everything cooked perfect. I said, I'm gonna do a cool ice cream. I have it all figured out in my head. No, didn't happen. So that struck out. Then I had to go to number 2. I ended up going to number 3, and I just basically went back to my childhood of what I was raised on for snacks. My dad would do multi-meal.
Yeah.
With like some berries or something like that. And that's what I ended up doing, is taking a creation of something my dad, we used to always call surprise, because you never know. I mean, it could be beans fully loaded, and you're like, it could be rice with whatever, and you're like, surprise, and you're like, oh, okay. But it was always good. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And so luckily that was the worst stressful part of it.
How did the judges perceive that dish?
Well, they said exact word. I don't know the exact words because it's been a while. But they said the flavor was on point.
Yeah,
didn't look the best, but the flavor was not on. Was great. Now her dish aesthetically looked great, and I was like, "There's no way." I mean, she brought out she used the antifreeze, and I mean not the
anti-griddle.
Anti-griddle, my bad. She used it, and she was using. I mean, hers looked really good, and I was like, I'm blown out. But I guess what they said overall, I won was first round, second round.
Yeah.
And overall, that's how I ended up.
Well, we want to hope she didn't use antifreeze. That means she didn't like the judges.
I meant to say
anti-griddle. No, that's cool. I do it all the time. Messing with you. So what was the best? What was your best dishes you did?
Best dishes was first round. We got testicles, bull testicles, and I laughed. As soon as I opened up, I was like, I got this round. I don't care what y'all say. We're raised on cat fries.
Right, yeah.
And I said, I'm from Oklahoma. So I was like, isn't
that awesome? How'd that work? That's awesome.
I have no idea. But as soon as I opened up, I looked, I was like, all right, we're good. This round. And that's what I promised my boss and my corporate chefing on them. I said, I'm going to pass first round. I said, and they're like, you better. So I saw that. So I knew I was pretty comfortable at doing that. And I think I got chicory. We got chicory and something else.
Lamb fries,
chicory, and, bacon. Coffee. Yeah, we got chicory coffee. That's what I always got, chicory, yeah.
You got a good memory, too.
Yeah. He remembers all this stuff more than I do. I've had too many beers, I guess, between now and then. But, so that dish was fun. And, they tasted it, and they're like, no, it's cooked perfect. So, and then, of course, everybody's now, hey, everybody wants me to cook cat fries here at the barbecue restaurant. And it's just, I was like, do you know how tedious cleaning all them things are? And the way we do them, it can get tedious, especially with 3 people.
if they're done right, they're delicious.
Oh, I love them.
I got a story for you. You were talking about that. So anytime I take people out somewhere to try cat fries, I don't tell them what they are.
No.
And we had a whole bunch of people here from Europe, and we took them and had tried cat fries down in Stockyards. Mm-hmm. And so after they ate them, we told them what they were, but after that they had onion rings.
Yep.
And so the guy started thinking in his mind. He's like, wait. He said, wait. So I told him bull test. He thought the onion rings were from the female.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
Oh
my gosh, I laughed so hard I was crying. I thought that was so funny. Yep. That's great. So you did that. So you obviously won. Yes. Were you pressured?
I was nervous. I mean, I wasn't really pressured. I mean, I tried to stay calm, and the only thing that was time. I was getting tired.
Yeah.
Because it's
hot.
It was like you do on the show, you do your actual 20-minute cooking.
Right.
And then you got to wait like 2.5 hours to 3 hours in between because of edits, cuts, interviews, this and that. And then each interview, like every round, I had to do about an hour-long interview.
Yeah.
And it ended up towards the last interview, and I got there at 4 o'clock that morning, and it was almost 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So that last interview was like I said the same thing over and over. And they're like, "We're good." I said, "Thank you."
See, and that's like if it's just the miracle of TV.
Yep.
People don't understand how much production time and what goes into a show. I mean, it's just. I mean, even if you're doing a live show like this, you have pre-times, you have times, you have to cut. Production for promotional videos. People don't. People just. It's just the miracle of TV. They just think of that. Actually, when they do the show, it's only like 20 minutes because you got commercials. They got people to pay for TV. So it looks like it's really quick, and it doesn't happen that way. Because they couldn't do those interviews. I think people think that most people, if you ask them, they do all the interviews after, and you would not be able to get that response from people if they knew they had lost.
Yep. Especially they want to catch you in and they would harbor a lot of questions towards you, like trying to get you to say something about the other contestants, and I'm like, I was raised a humble man. I'm not going to talk mess on anybody, especially not knowing if I'm going to win the thing.
Yeah.
Now, if I was confident enough to say, I got these people wiped out, I may do a little shit talking here and there, but I try to stay humble.
You know what's funny though? Some of those people, you watch those shows, some of those people who jack their jaw a lot wind up losing.
First round.
First round.
Out of here.
Yeah. So what was your favorite thing about cooking in Nala?
Probably just being around all the different intermixing of the cultures there. Like,
I agree.
There's a huge Vietnamese culture, a huge Ethiopian culture. I mean, you can literally go anywhere and get any type of cuisine you want. I mean, and a lot of that is just it's mixed in together. Like, we were a French bistro, the first restaurant I worked at, but we used a lot of Asian ingredients for a lot of the food we did. Like, we did hardcore traditional French food, but we may throw in a little black vinegar there to our sauce. I mean, just, the different, seeing how things go with food there was a lot.
What was your favorite dish that you made? Did you make?
I was the roast chef, so I was primary. I did every single entree there. So, and we did a lot of fresh whole fish, steak frites, pretty classic French bistro food.
If you weren't working, you were in the quarter, what would be your favorite restaurant in the quarter when you were there? Did you have one you went to, or did you go stay out of the quarter?
I stayed out of the quarter primarily, but when I would play tours with my friends who'd come down.
You got to do that, right?
What was that place? Maspero's?
Cafe Maspero's?
Yeah, Cafe Maspero's. Get a muffaletto. That's probably that's probably where I'd go.
Why haven't muffalettas? I guess they have branched out now. Now they're getting popular all over the United States. Those and baguettes are now starting. There's a bunch of baguette deal here too now. So it's but I don't know, man. There's just something about the baguettes. I don't know if it's the water down there or what it is, but they just taste different down there to me.
Yeah.
It's
it's a lot of the water and then
in the air.
Moisture.
Yeah, moisture. Yeah.
Especially you get that Leidenheimer. I love Leidenheimer, but there's a bakery where we used to get ours, Dong Phuong Bakery, Vietnamese bakery.
Say again, Dong Phuong?
It's called Dong Phuong Bakery. Man, best French bread I've ever
Dong
had.
Phuong. Say that fast a few times after a few whiskeys.
Yeah.
It's super squishy bread, but it
gets crunchy on the outside, but it's soft. Man.
It's to me, if you're going to do a sandwich, a hamburger, anything. Yeah. I think the most important thing is the bread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and for
absolutely.
me, I like the slightly crunchy outside and the soft inside.
Yep.
And it's I know it's simple, but it doesn't get that way most of the time. No. So it's as soon as you say that, that's the same way I feel.
Yeah. Because that's where it starts. That's where your whole sandwich starts, is with the bread. I mean, if that's wrong, it's not going to be right.
Yeah, that's right. And they're shipping the famous Maffietta company now is shipping their Gold Belly all over the place. Yep. Their Maffietta is
Central.
That's it. Yeah. Central I saw when I was down there. They just started. They started during COVID. I think that's when they started it. Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder when they're going to get. Do you think? I think it's my friend of mine says he thinks it's going to be a whole other year before they get back to normal down there. I don't know.
I hope they do, because
a lot of my friends I talk to down there are saying it's still like ground zero, pretty much.
Yeah, ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll be heading back down that way in March.
Oh, you are?
My nephew,
vacation?
Well, my nephew's getting married in Mandeville.
Oh,
so
you gonna see everybody at the restaurant?
I'm gonna go by, try to check out, meet up with everybody, and the bachelor party is gonna be in New Orleans. So
hey, did he ever come tell you? Did he ever make things about you went and chopped?
Yeah, he actually did. He actually posted a thing on social media congratulating me, this and that.
That's awesome.
And he came into the restaurant like a couple weeks after that. We were working one shift, and he shook my hand and said congratulations.
That's great.
He was pretty good. Like at NOLA, he would be there. We'd probably see him maybe 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Now towards this last time because I was there for 8 years, and then I came back to Idabel, and then I went back for 2 years this last time.
So you were there 10 years altogether.
Altogether. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then but this last round when I went back to work for the couple of years, he was in there a pretty good amount. He would always come in there and everywhere else. He was more in New Orleans since he's got away from Food Network more, and he's branching out, doing a lot of fundraising too.
Yeah.
So he was been in New Orleans for a while.
I've noticed that a lot of guys do get away. I think that when you sign those contracts, they keep you so busy and so locked down.
Yep.
It's hard to do other stuff. And I see Bobby Fille's leaving now.
Yep.
So I think it does get that way. Because also too, if you're a chef, you want to get back to being a chef.
Exactly.
How many restaurants does he have?
Well, he had 12 at one time, but I don't think all
he's
of them are
down
open
to-
back up. I know Delmonico's in
6.
Vegas is open. Emerald's
Stadium.
Original just opened back up in New Orleans, and Merrill's, where he worked, is open.
Yeah.
Delmonico's in New Orleans is still shut down. NOLA's still shut down. And then he has the one in
And Coastal.
Coastal,
in
the
Florida.
seafood one.
Yeah, that one I've
So
been to.
I think it's 6 in total.
6.
So okay. So when you work for when y'all work for a restaurant like that, who does he make the recipes, or does he let the chefs make the recipes?
Well, we have a standard, like he has. There's always all the restaurants, barbecue shrimp stays the same recipe, basically stays the same.
Yeah.
But what he does is, like my boss, what they would do, we would all powwow together over menus and what items we liked, and a lot of the stuff was we would put stuff that we ran for specials that sold really good, this and that, and then we would go with the seasons too there. So if we knew collard greens and turnips and a bunch of other stuff, hearty stuff was coming on this season, we would gear the menu around that stuff.
So y'all had some freedom then.
We had a little bit of freedom, and so all we would have to do is we would plan out our menu, and then the corporate chef and Emerald would sign off on it, and then the corporate chef would come back, taste everything, said, okay, let's roll with that. Now, but there are some staples like the Worcestershire, his homemade Worcestershire stayed, the barbecue shrimp stayed the same, and there's
That's
really
a
about
popular dish though.
yeah, his barbecue shrimp is.
One other question we're going to get on Phat Tabb's and Idabel, because this has always intrigued me. Why do you think that Chow grilled oysters have not made their way out? I mean, they're just like stuck. I mean, there's a few places that has them, but there's nothing like the ones in New Orleans.
No.
Why is that?
I just think shipping, a
I
lot
think it has
of
to- It
shipping.
definitely has to do with the oysters. I feel like because oysters in the Gulf are going to taste totally different than oysters you get in New York.
Yeah.
The ones in New York are like really briny and salty, but
Because of colder
the Gulf
waters.
Gulf oysters are they're plump. They're just kind of mute flavor, so they can take a lot of garlic, butter,
Yeah.
lemon, all that good stuff.
We've done them, but like I said, shipping to get it in small town Idabel, Oklahoma, is what killed us,
Yeah.
and but I love them. Every time
They're my favorite. I just love them.
Well, every time we come out and I get family used to come to New Orleans,
We go to
we'd always
Yeah.
go to Drago's.
Drago's the best.
I love that with the bread.
Yeah.
With the bread, sop it up.
Yeah, Drago's is
If
great.
we couldn't make it to Drago's, we'd always go to Felix's.
Felix's is good too.
I never leave anybody. I take that bread and I sop that boy. I sop that up and just get with it.
Yep.
All right, so you went back to Idabel, and did you go back with the sole intention to open up Phat Tabb's?
Well, actually, we shut down because of COVID.
Right.
And our corporate boss came to us and said, hey, we're going to let everybody take off a month and see how this goes, because no one knew what was really going to happen.
Nobody knew.
They just knew that this stuff was coming up. And so, a month went by. They're like, hang on, we're going to wait 2 more months. And then I was like, okay.
Were they paying anybody?
Well, I was on management, so we got paid, and then they were helping us a little bit. But then they helped us get everything set up with the Louisiana unemployment and all that. They helped us there, and so we got all that set up. And then they were helping me with my insurance. And then the 3rd month came up. I got a call. It was end of May.
You had to be getting bored by that time.
I was. Well, we were already started looking. I was like, if this thing gets any worse, I might as well because all you saw is New Orleans, how bad New Orleans was, and then the rest of the United States was okay at the time. And I was like, man. And so they called and said, hey, we're going to have to pull. We're shutting down NOLA till October. And then we're pulling insurance, health insurance. And I was like, okay. So that's when I was like, okay, it's October. I got to do something now. And, still, I know it was a pandemic during the time, and I was nervous, but I was like, I cook. That's what I do. I mean, I trying to think of a way to where, and my head started rolling already. I was like, well, maybe I could set up a little shop to where I can do home food deliveries. And we had so many things going through our head. Well, I drove by this one restaurant.
In Idabel.
In Idabel.
Okay.
It's always been a
So
burger
you were already
shack.
back home.
I was already. We moved. We left as soon as they said we're shutting down the restaurant for a month. I was like, man, I'll go home for a little vacation. 'Cause it's been a while since I've been back home. And so I was here, and I came home for about a week, and I drove by and I saw the restaurant was empty.
Yeah.
And then I went back to New Orleans. We stayed down there for about 3 more weeks, and they said, well, it's going to be another 2 more months. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go back home. Because at that time I was getting bored and, sitting at home cooking. But then that's when they started laying everything down about, you can't go in here. You got to do this. You got to do this. And then back in Oklahoma, it was a little laid back.
Yeah.
It wasn't all that hardcore yet about mask and all this other stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to go back home to God's country where it's – it's not craziness like it is going down here.
It's also, too, the mass amount of people that are down there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have that out there.
No.
And so
I don't think we ever got to the point to where we were with a citywide mask mandate. No. But certain
close,
certain stores like Walmart, the big corporation stores like that, all required a mask.
Yeah. So the second time I drove by again, when I came back just to visit, and I was in and out, I saw that still nothing was there. And I was like, man. And then so that's when they called when I was in. They said, well, it's going to be till October. And I was like, well, I got to do something. So I was like, I called my apartment or my complex, said, hey, I'm moving out. And Dad said, just come on back home. So we loaded up. And as we were moving into town, I just happened to look again. I saw nothing over there. So I was like, you know what? I said, I've always wanted to do a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah. Perfect size. Manageable.
I had some money saved up. And then now they started these regulations where you can take money out of your 401k and all this other stuff.
Because of COVID.
Yep, because of COVID. And so I was like, maybe I'll take a little bit out of my 401k. And then, my dad stepped up and my mom, they helped me out a little bit. And we started on a shoestring budget. I mean, for what we started off with, most restaurants probably wouldn't be open right now still.
It doesn't matter when you started. It doesn't matter. You can't gauge yourself by because every part of the country is different.
Yeah.
The fact that you did it and you've been successful with it is important.
Yeah. And my thing is when we went in, now I already had the smoker because
thank God.
Yeah, I already had the smoker. And
that's an important part.
Yes. Yeah. And so we had a 750, or we started out on a 750 gallon, and it's a madhouse. It was nonstop. We finally got everything set up, and like I said, we're a small restaurant, and there's five seats inside. So I figured we'll mainly be carry out and drive.
5 tables.
Yes, 5 tables.
Yeah.
So we roughly get about
30
20
seats, right?
Maybe 20 seats.
Okay.
Counting outside, you can sit outside.
Yeah, they're all 4 tops.
But it had a drive-through. So my thing was like, well, maybe we can get people just coming to the drive-through, circulate some money, this, that, this, and that. And I knew there was going to be a pretty good hit at first, so I staffed up really good. And
I guess that's the first time I was there because the first time I was there, you had a pretty big staff, but you were busy though.
Yeah, we had 6 people.
We were rocking and rolling, and then so we opened, and things were going good, and it's just trying to figure out. But it was a juggling act because we had that one pit, so trying to keep production of food to where everybody, because like the first day we opened. I mean, we sold out by 11:30. I mean, and we opened at 10:30.
Yeah, we opened at 10:30.
And so we were already out of meat just by that.
That selling out business is all fine and good until people quit coming because they get pissed.
And
you can't do that.
Yeah, and that's what I think. And that's the problem we have now. I think we still do the sellout thing mainly because, in my hometown, it's more of a lunch crowd. We get hit at the lunch.
Right.
So we've cut back some stuff, except on Fridays and Saturdays. That's when we load that smoker up.
Also, too, though, in your hometown, and you and I have talked about this a million times. Where this started, this whole all this line barbecue, started basically here in Texas, down south and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's moved its way forward, but the quality of the food has moved its way forward and moved its way out.
Yep.
But the idea that people have about barbecue and about the way it's supposed to operate has not.
Still the same.
It's still the same.
Still the same.
Yep.
It's just a whole and eventually get the concept, but it's just going to take a little bit.
Yeah, and it's taken. Like I said, we started out with a ball of fire, but then I think some people got ruffled, their feathers ruffled a little bit locally, because we have sold out so fast and this and that, and then. But I think the more we keep telling everybody this is why we do this,
quality.
Because when you come in the front door, you know that majority of all of our meats are coming off the smoker that day. You're getting fresh. We try not now. There has been some times where we've cooked a lot of stuff, and we've had to carry stuff over, but we try to chop it up, use tacos, making it something else.
Yeah, that's what everybody.
But we want to sell out because
it's fresh.
We want it fresh
every day.
And we want you to know you're having fresh. You're not getting stuff that's been microwaved or reheated, and you cut into it and it's gray looking. I mean, and
that's the thing. People expect restaurant when you say you're going to be open. They want you to be open until they're ready to go.
Yes. Yeah.
And in your case, that's not, you're open till you sell out. And that you can only make so much.
Yeah.
You can't run down to Walmart and buy it. You can't have Benny Keys bring it and drop it at your back door. Yep. That's not the way it works. Yep. It's about production, and it's about creative and being passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah. And that's me. I mean, I know we're doing barbecue, but me, when it comes
it's more than that to you.
When food, I mean, I want to make sure that I'm trying my best to put out the best possible product for you when you come in. Now, we have off days. It could be wood.
Everybody has off days.
Wood's not maybe too dry or too wet.
Yeah.
Whether I slept extra 20, 30 minutes. Whether, things like that, or whether we didn't get our right product. And that's our problem, is when we have everything that we need. Our problem is here lately is just it's been so hard the past 6 months getting the right briskets, the right ribs, because a lot of stuff's all allocated to the bigger cities.
Right.
Yeah.
So the little
supply chain.
It's a little small town. We don't really get that much like we want. But here lately, I switched companies, so we got two companies. So now they focus more on meats.
Yeah.
So here lately, we've been really good getting good product, good steady stream. Meat. So that's our big thing.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Sausage. When I was there, y'all had several different kinds of sausage. Or y'all make the sausage in house?
We make sausage in house.
Yeah. Is that what you do that, or do you do that?
We tag team.
Okay.
He'll sit there and help me.
I like that tag team. See. Has any you need to video, and I know you're good at y'all are good about social. Who does your social media? Does she do your social media?
Right now, me.
Okay,
majority of me.
You need to do some short videos and of you doing the sausage and stuff like that, and your brisket. And I know I know you're working hard because you only have 3 people, but it just that stuff is just so delicious. I mean, the brisket is just it's just off the hook.
Yep. Yeah, and our sausages have really come around, and I think we get more people that come every week now because we try to change our sausages every week.
Yeah,
and we've gotten crazy.
People love sausage.
Yeah,
it's becoming a huge deal.
Yeah.
Have you done boudin sausage yet?
We do boudin. Yeah. I do. We do Cajun style boudin. Now I see where a lot of restaurants around here where they put more rice and stuff to it. Me, where I learned was what they call them coon asses out down in Louisiana. Yeah. And that's the way I learned it.
But that's the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah. Nice dried out, soft, more meat than rice a little bit. And so that's the way we do ours. We cook ours and we just shred it by hand, and we don't run through a grinder or nothing like that.
I like the harder version. Some people stuff
like the soft.
A lot of too much rice for me.
Yeah.
I like that version.
Yeah. Yep.
Coon ass version.
Yep.
Y'all just call it coon ass sausage. So what y'all have anything big? Y'all have anything big planned? What you do desserts up there?
We do desserts. My sister, she does all the desserts.
She takes care of those.
And like I said, this past week we've been doing this, taking Fireball whiskey with making a Fireball whiskey peach cobbler with cinnamon rolls in it. It's been selling really good.
Hey, is it a Fireball whiskey for me and one for the thing? Fire whiskey for me, one for the thing.
Probably so. Probably so.
We got somebody, I don't know where, but we got like 10 of these little bitty bottles of Fireball. I don't know if I bought them. Somebody gave them to us, but they've been in my freezer forever.
Yep.
And one night I came home from, I don't know, we were at some party. I was drinking a couple at the house, and Janet, she's, what are you doing? You're drinking Fireball out of the bottle? What is wrong with you?
I never thought in a million years. My dad, he loves that stuff. stuff.
But it is so loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
If you wake up the next day and you feel like you've been run over by a truck and backed over by a Frito-Lay truck, that's why.
Sugar rush. Yeah.
Sugar, man. I drink straight vodka or straight whiskey with ice, man, because that's just like it doesn't give you all that craziness that goes on with all those drinks like they make in Nala.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Dang hurricanes and
Oh
everything.
man, it's crazy.
Hand grenades.
But you know what I learned is that if you go to those places, a lot of them have more sugar and stuff and less alcohol in them.
Yep.
You got to watch where you go. I mean, there's certain.
Oh, the hand grenades will get you.
Yeah,
I mean,
hand grenades
they'll
is nothing but mixed. Like
you can sit there and
mixed
drink. I think
alcohols.
sometimes they screw some people over on those hand
yeah.
grenades, but
Yeah.
they do. You can still drink one and be like, but I mean, you figure it's
Yeah.
you're 20, 30 ounce glass out of that little grenade by the time
Half
you're
the time,
done.
if you go during the day, you're gonna get your stronger drinks because it's like when they first start.
Yep.
So how did the dessert go this week? Sold out.
Oh yeah, we sold it.
Yeah, we sold out real quick.
So tell me a few desserts y'all done besides that one. What was some more you've done?
We've done German chocolate trifles.
Yeah.
We've done a few different pies. She did a chocolate pecan pie one
Oh
time.
man, I would think desserts would be big in Idabel.
They do. They get
They
big,
do.
and like I said, we try to keep up with them as much as we can. But like I said, if listeners out there saw our kitchen and the size of our,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. We're trying to keep a full menu, and everybody asks, "Why don't y'all have more stuff?" And I'm like, "Do you want to walk around the kitchen and see how big my cooler
Well,
is?" and
I
everything?
can say the word cozy is a lot. Let's take you that embodies the word cozy. That place.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
watched y'all in there. Y'all all hitting, knocking into each other.
Yeah.
And boy, y'all were first time I was there. Y'all were getting it, boy. But it was
It's like bumper cars.
Yeah. And y'all are like me. I mean, we're not midgets.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go sit down and I mean, it's just there's no room.
Yeah.
So, but the other two times I was there, the drive-thru was wrapped. I mean, there was cars around the building, so I guess the drive-thru is popular too, right? When you're operating it.
It is, but right now, like I said, we've been so shorthanded, or we are shorthanded that I shut down the drive-thru.
So, is staffing issues the same way in Idabel?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Hands down.
That's I love the people in Idabel. I'm there. I was there. Well, I saw you. I came up to see you a couple weeks ago when you were cooking. I didn't realize you changed the hours, but we had a nice conversation. But I love people in Idabel. I go to Walmart in Idabel. I sell stuff at that. Sold stuff at the big auction up there, Brinkley.
Yep.
They always do a good job for me.
Yep.
Are you open on the auction days?
We're open on auction days. We just now, so
Thursdays.
we're back open on Wednesdays now.
Okay.
But during the time they run the Brinkley auctions, we're open. We get a good crowd.
You do? Okay, so people know you're down there for
Yes.
Brinkley.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do they come in there at all? Because that's a lot of people going that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few people come in.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they do a good job there.
Yep.
So you enjoy being back in Idabel?
I do. I really do.
Awesome. What is going to be your next big thing y'all are going to do? You're going to open it more than 7 days. You going to open 7 days, some eventually.
Well, right now, like I said, we're trying to hang on to whatever we got money wise, because after the year we're going to get pretty hot and heavy, and some people know it. I haven't really promoted it.
Yeah.
But I guess it's safe to say I can start promoting it now. But we are building a new restaurant.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be in Idabel. And
nice.
it's going to be bigger, way more seating. We're going to have a bar in there. We're going to have a patio for a music venue.
Bar.
So it's going to have some bells and whistles. But the main thing is it's more room, more seating. And we're going to start on a new pit. So we'll be able to stay nonstop, hopefully, till about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night is what we're going. So we're looking at trying to run all day. Hopefully, right now we're thinking maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and open up Sunday. And
those are good days.
yeah, is
where
what
that
we're
goes.
looking at. And we want to catch Sunday lunch crowd.
Yeah.
We may shut down a little bit earlier on Sundays, but we mainly want to stay, with football season and all this other stuff. We're going to have TVs and everything.
Are
in
you
there.
retrofitting? Are you retrofitting something else? Or are you building a new building?
We're actually moving
Okay.
out of the little building right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to.
You're moving out right now.
Well, not right now. Right now, we're going to be there at least till my lease is May. The lease is up in May.
We'll be there till May.
But if we could time everything out right, we can hopefully have
We're
the
trying
new
to have
place.
an easy month-long transition
you.
from May to
Yeah,
July.
so we'll
when we open.
start transition out in around May, and then hopefully
Shoot for July.
shoot for July or close to there.
Well,
So
that'd be good for you because that's travel season, right?
Yeah.
that's what we're hoping for.
And we're
That's what
we're
hoping
planning to be a
for.
little more centrally located, like right across from Walmart.
We're going to be right there by the Super Walmart, close in that area.
Yeah.
So
And it's funny. People are funny, and I know Idabel's not very big, but some people don't want to go across town. It's crazy. So I mean, it's crazy.
We're in a off spot for restaurants, definitely.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people that we've heard, they say they want to come eat, but we don't have any seating.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like. I mean, it's like me. I really don't like taking carry out a lot.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'd rather go in and sit down because I know it's fresh.
Got so tired of it with COVID and everything like that.
So
it's just
now, since things are loosening up, and we've always had the idea of expanding, but now since hopefully some of this COVID stuff's getting better,
it's getting a lot better.
So we can open it up more. And then my goal from day one has always been, which no one ever believes me, is I actually want to try to do something for Idabel, because right now we have multiple opportunities to go. We go north to Hochtown. We got plenty of opportunities to go there, and I got a guy right now wanting to build me a building in Hochtown at perfect location.
Yeah. That name cracks me up. It sounds like Hotown.
Yeah.
But it's not. I like the place. It's just the name cracks me up.
Yeah.
I was just fixing to ask you, is that where you do all your cabin cooking up there?
That's where we're doing. That's where we do a lot of business up there.
Which is good. That's all the vacation. It's so pretty up there.
It is.
Most people don't even know how beautiful that area is up there.
Yep.
I mean, it is amazing. It's like a hidden jewel.
It is. Yeah. It is. And like I said, tourists, they every weekend just flying through there. You'll see Texas.
We're most Texas,
all Texas.
Because it's close.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny. A lot of people don't tell people about it down here. So I think they don't want to. They don't want people to know about their deal. But the guy that owns Old South Pancake House, he owns a couple cabins up there. He rents out. And his Old South Pancake is here in Fort Worth.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're going. Speaking of Fort Worth, after you get to here, you're going to Panther City Barbecue.
We're heading to Panther City for lunch today.
Yeah, and you're going to Goldie's tomorrow.
I'm gonna do
a little tour.
I'm gonna do a tour. So the plan is my bucket list has always been to go to a Texas Monthly, top 5, top 10, whatever, and do the whole sit and line thing. And everybody in my hometown think I'm crazy that I'm going to be at a barbecue restaurant at 5 o'clock in the morning to get in line for barbecue.
It's experience, baby.
It's experience. And I told my nephew, I told my sister, I said we can do it one time, get it out until we go down to Snows. That's my bucket list too, is go down to Snows.
Yeah.
But it's always been to go to Texas rated number 1 or 2, top 3 restaurant, just to see where we're at and where we need to get our barbecue to be, because a lot of our clientele is from Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth area, and we want to try to change people's perception, because a lot of people from Texas think Oklahoma barbecue is just trash.
Right.
And we do claim on a lot of our social media that we do Oklahoma style barbecue. Well, the reasoning to that is Oklahoma's. You got Kansas City up top. You got Texas on bottom.
Right.
So I pick and choose from both states.
Sure you
and
do.
I combined it into what we are. So our brisket is mainly a Texas style. It really is. The only thing different that I do, and some barbecue restaurants may do it, is just a little trick my granddad used to do at his old butcher shop.
Right.
And so when we spritz, we're heavy on the salt, heavy on thick pepper, but I shoot pickle juice. We make our own pickles. So
I love your bark.
Yeah, so we just try to, and we hit it with pickle juice, and it gives that little mustard powder that we do in our pickle juice and everything. It makes that bark crunch.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Barkalicious, baby.
Yes, it is. It is.
If you really want to throw a monkey wrench and everything, you ought to say, we got New Orleans barbecue in here.
Yeah.
It was a big joke. One of the big publications from the United States claimed that New Orleans had the best barbecue in the United States. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was
I don't understand that.
It was. And now there is one place, I will say this, they're in Lowling, called Gonzo's.
Yeah.
He's really putting out some good. They do Texas stuff.
There is some good barbecue in
they're getting better.
Louisiana. Yeah, there's one of the guys at Brandon Land that is Smiley's Barbecue was just on the barbecue cook-off with Bobby Filet.
Mm-hmm.
He says there's a couple places down there that are doing really good barbecue, which I'm going to hit. They're on my list to hit next time I'm down there.
Yeah, Blue Oak's really good, and Gonzo's, and then Central City. Central City's really good.
Those are the 3.
Oh wait, Central City they were just here at the World Food Championships. I saw their trailer.
Probably so. Yeah.
Is it a pig?
Yeah.
Is their logo a pig? Yeah.
Yep.
I saw
Central City.
Yeah, they were at the World Food Championships.
Probably so.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He's putting out. James Cruz is putting out some good stuff down there.
So next big thing. Anything else besides it? Well, I guess that's a big thing. Going to keep cooking barbecue, slinging barbecue, and moving. Let's talk about your hours again, just so everybody knows. Your hours today are right now, Wednesday through Saturday.
Wednesday through Saturday at 10:30 a.m. until we sell out. Now we do catering 7 days a week.
Right.
So if you need something for Monday, you just give us a call. We'll set something.
And you're
up.
doing holiday, or you're doing pre-order for holidays.
Right
correct?
now, we're doing pre-orders for holiday meals. We're doing cherry glazed smoked ham. We're doing whole turkey breasts, whole briskets. We're doing ham hock stuffing.
Cherry glazed smoked ham. That sounds good.
Sweet potatoes. We're doing a bourbon smoked sweet potatoes with cinnamon toast crunch on top.
That'd be awesome.
We had a lot of people because we ran it as a side special this week. A lot of people were like, I got to try that. And then they ate it. They're like, wow, that is good. So we're doing that and just a couple of regular sides, like our potato salad, mac and cheese, things like that. And then my sister, she does this killer cranberry jalapeno salsa.
Oh, wow.
Which we take smoked jalapenos and put in with it. And then we actually
smoke them in the smoker?
We smoke the jalapenos in there and we fold it in there.
It's just the raw cranberry. It's
and then we just sugar and pure it up. I mean,
stuff.
it's really good. So
I've got to come back and have some desserts because I've always just eaten the meat. Now, what about sandwiches? I had a really good sandwich there. You still doing your sandwiches, or is that only on specials?
we run specials. Yeah,
Okay.
right now it just.
I think you had the Cubano whenever.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah.
I saw a little wink. You know, as somebody's delicious, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your social media? Is it everything Phat Tabbs?
Phat Tabb's barbecue.
Yeah.
Phat Tabbs, and that's Phat PHAT.
Pretty hot taste. Pretty hot and tasty.
Pretty hot and tasty, or pretty hot and tempting. Either way,
Yeah, either way.
Either one, they're going to work good. That's the fat that I use when I say things now because I don't want to offend anybody.
Yep.
Because I like that word fat, and that came out of Fridays. Remember, isn't that what we talked about? Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love all those movies, all those Friday movies.
Yeah, and that's how, that movie is how the name became. My sister, we're actually doing a barbecue cook-off, me and my dad, a local one, that next day, and she said, "Tab, you ought to. That's fat." And then she said, like pretty hot and tasty instead of tempting. And I was like.
Yeah,
and it stuck. And this was like 20 years ago when we decided that's what we're going to do.
So you waited 20 years. That's what I call patience,
It's
brother.
been 20 years. Well, barbecues is patience.
Patience, but also experience.
It is. It is.
I think everything that both of y'all have done up till now has just prepared you for what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, probably now there's nothing y'all really can't do together. So I mean, what you've been through now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean that's a great.
I loved every place that I've worked at and things I've done, this and that. But for me, working the crazy hours, this and that, and I'll say how tired I am every now and then, but I really enjoy. I mean, sometimes I think about it, it's like,
Passion, baby.
Yeah, I love it. I love what I do.
I really appreciate y'all being here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I got some gifts for y'all before you leave. I give everybody crazy socks. I'm gonna give those to you before you leave.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I really appreciate y'all being here. And again, it's Phat Tabb's Barbecue, and you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter.
And
Facebook. Facebook. If you're trying to get a hold of us, as always, we'll be here same time, same channel next week. You get a hold of us. It's www.treychapman.com, or you can just, like I say, everybody, just Google me. We got all kinds of pages of Google. And don't forget, we're going to be at Sunnyland this weekend in Dallas, Sunnyland Egg Festival, and the Taco Landa in Dallas. You got to get to that Taco Landa in Dallas. That's going to be, tacos, tequila, one price. It's just getting up there to see him, right? That's it.
Yeah.
And if y'all have not been involved, if y'all have not seen the World Food Championships, go look them up. Go to their Facebook, go to their Instagram, go to their Twitter, go to mine. Check out the World Food Championships. It was really cool. They did barbecue, they did seafood, they did Cajun food, they did sandwiches. They had like 15 different categories. I ate way too much in that deal. So look up tomorrow. I'll see y'all. I want to see y'all at Sunnyland or at Taco Landa. If you see us, just give us a wave, man. I always love talking to people and seeing it. I really appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Again, Phat Tabb's, Idabel, Oklahoma. If you're from here and you're traveling through, going to Ho Chi Town, there's or going up through there anyway, stop and go, or just make a trip to go up there to see Phat Tabb's. You'll love it. Just cross the river. Just cross the Red River. Right up there, go around the loop. Or is that the loop around Idabel?
We got a loop, yeah.
The loop there and go left. Thank y'all very much. We'll see y'all same time, same bat channel next week. TreyChapman.com. Follow us, please, on all our channels. Welcome to the River Ranch Stockyards Event Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Events, weddings, corporate events, parties, you name it, River Ranch Stockyards can do it all. Check them out, riverranchstockyards.com. A proud partner of Trey's Chowdown and Trey's Chowdown Live. Hope to see you at the table soon. Adios. Hi, I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey'sChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs, just sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.